If you live in Dubai or have assets here, the question of what happens to your wealth after you pass away is an important question. Many expats assume that their home country laws will automatically apply, but Dubai doesn't work that way. If you haven't planned properly, local Sharia-based laws may override your intentions even if you have a will elsewhere. And that is what we are going to discuss in today's video in detail. Before we start, my name is Shiraz Wahid and I'm the co-founder at Leopardus Wealth, where we have helped many of our clients and families with trust, foundation, and other asset protection strategies in Dubai. If you would like my help in doing the same, you can apply for a free and customized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. Now, coming back to the topic, inheritance in the UAE is governed by a mix of federal laws and Islamic principles. For Muslims, Sharia law dictates very specific distribution rules among family members. For non-Muslims, there has historically been ambiguity, but in recent years, Dubai has introduced mechanisms to allow expats to opt out of the Sharia law and apply the laws of their home country, but only if this is done proactively and correctly. That distinction is critical because passive inaction can result in outcomes completely disconnected from your values, your family structure, or your legacy goals. This brings us to one of the most critical tools expats should understand: the Dubai Will, specifically the DIFC Wills and Probate Registry. It allows non-Muslim residents to register a will under common law principles and choose their own country's inheritance rules. This legal certainty is rare in the region and offers a level of comfort that many expats are unaware that it exists. But registering a will alone isn't always enough. If you own property, shares in a local company, or hold substantial assets in Dubai Bank, additional structures may be needed to ensure efficient administration and control. Now, let's look at what that means in practice. Imagine an expat with a business and real estate portfolio in Dubai who suddenly passes away without a registered will or a succession plan. By default, the estate may go into a lengthy probate process. Assets could be frozen, family members might have to navigate a Sharia court, and the final outcome may be entirely different from what deceased would have intended. These scenarios are not theoretical. They happen more often than you might think, and they can leave even well-off families in financial and emotional distress. That's why we often recommend pairing a properly registered will with asset holding structures like a DIFC Foundation or SPV. These vehicles not only provide clarity but can also ensure continuity, privacy, and control. For example, you can hold a family business inside a foundation and specify exactly who inherits it, under what terms, and when. This avoids any ambiguity or forced distribution. Moreover, foundations can serve as long-term legacy vehicle, ensuring that your values and vision continues across generations. But here's something you might not know. Even with a will in place, certain types of assets like jointly owned property or assets held under a local trade license can still fall into legal gray zones. That's why it is essential to look at your estate as a whole and not treat the will as a catch-all solution. It's one part of the puzzle, not the full plan. Proper structuring provides not just inheritance benefits, but also potential advantages in banking access, legal separation, and the asset protection. Another key consideration is taxation. While the UAE does not levy inheritance or estate taxes, your remaining family might face tax obligations in their own country. For example, UK or Australian citizens may trigger domicile-based inheritance tax even if the assets are held offshore. That's why cross-border estate planning must factor in reporting, residency, and potential global tax exposure. Simply putting a will in place won't solve these challenges. A coordinated strategy is needed. This is especially relevant if you hold second passport, have adult children living in other jurisdictions, or plan to relocate later in life. We also see confusion around guardianship. If you have minor children, a DIFC will allows you to appoint both interim and permanent guardians. Without this, local authorities could make those decisions in your absence. For expat families, that alone is a reason enough to act on creating a will. It offers peace of mind that people you trust most will be the ones stepping in, not a court-appointed temporary guardian. Now, let's talk about the timelines. If no will or structure is in place, the probate and succession process can take months or even years. During that time, your bank accounts could be frozen, your dependents may face access issues, and business operations might be stalled. With proper planning, those risks can be almost entirely eliminated. And that planning does not need to be overly complex. In many cases, a clear combination of DIFC will, a holding structure, and well drafted instructions is enough to dramatically reduce risk. Now, some expats rely on a home country will, thinking it will be recognized here. While that may sometimes work, but it is risky. Foreign wills need to be translated, notarized, and then potentially approved through a UAE court process. This adds both time and cost, and it may still not reflect your actual wishes if local interpretation differs. And in certain cases, parts of the foreign will may simply be unenforceable if they conflict with the public policy or the Sharia related rules. What makes Dubai unique is that it now offers expat a path to create inheritance clarity under a globally respected legal framework. Whether that's through a DIFC will, a DIFC foundation, or a combination of both, the tools exist. But they must be used proactively. You cannot use this after the fact. And waiting until later or assuming everything will sort out itself is not a strategy. In many families, the difference between planning and not planning is the difference between generational wealth and generational confusion. That brings us to another important point. Inheritance planning in Dubai is not only about protecting assets, it's about protecting families, preserving legacies, and avoiding preventable disputes. When structured properly, it gives you full control over who receives what, when, and how. And just as importantly, it ensures that your loved ones aren't left navigating uncertainty during a difficult time. For many clients, it's the most meaningful legal decision they make. If your situation involves international assets, several family beneficiaries, or succession across borders, then relying solely on the local will is simply not sufficient. That's where foundations, trust, and succession tools come in. These aren't complicated structures. They are best practices used globally by sophisticated families and family offices. And increasingly, we are seeing these tools used by business owners and professionals with fast-growing portfolio who want to avoid future complexity. Dubai's legal infrastructure now make these tools accessible, enforceable, and bankable. But understanding how to combine them and when to use with structure is where the true value lies. That's where a tailored plan makes all the difference. If you own a business or real estate, don't wait for legal or health crisis to start thinking about protecting your wealth. Many people think asset protection is only for ultra-wealthy. But the reality is that some of these solutions cost as much as setting up a free zone company in Dubai. If you want to secure what you have built and ensure your legacy, you can request your free and customized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. And if you're serious about building long-term financial security, you should really check out my next video right here.